Peace and blessings. Are you in the prison of the soul, spirit, or the prison of the flesh? Are you in all three prisons? Type either prison of the soul, prison of the flesh, or prison of the spirit, and scroll down to the Normalization YouTube channel. His name is spelled Peniel, Normalization, Ngonde. So if you know someone that you care about, you know how parents like to do stuff for their children, but this like particularly probably more for adults. You know, brother, sister, mother, daddy, whatever. And you want them, well, see what being a prisoner of spirit is. It's like a believer or a non-believer who don't have the willpower or, the willpower to pray for themselves. That's being in a prison of the spirit. And so what you do intercessory prayer, to ask God. Actually, it's particularly for like backslid Christians, prison of the spirit. Because with the prison of the spirit, it's a little different than the prison of the flesh. So you have to ask God, tell God about some things they did for Jesus Christ, in the past, like maybe go to church or pray before or sung in a choir. And then you might have to get your pastor, because it usually take, more than one person. So not only you have to pray for them to be delivered from the prison of the spirit. If you have a righteous pastor, make sure he's not a Masonic pastor, to, pray with you to deliver them from the prison of the spirit. And that pastor has to probably be knowledge about the prison of the spirit to even understand that. And the prison of the soul is the straight and narrow way. You must forgive everybody and don't have no bitterness toward them. So, you got to think out throughout your life, anybody that you had any unforgiveness or bitterness toward. This typically with like common with females sometimes. They get emotional and don't want to speak to nobody sometimes for whatever reason. That's bitterness. So you want to, if you have an issue with someone, you want to go to that person and try to solve the issue and fix it. And maybe if that person ain't around, you can confess to God. Don't hide no sins from Jesus Christ. That's how you come out of the prison of the soul, by getting rid of all unforgiveness and bitterness toward anybody else. And the prison of the flesh is dealing with things with the flesh, like fornications, adultery, things like that. But yeah, go to the Peniel Ngonde channel, check out those videos. Very important. And fix yourself if you have to, or let Jesus fix you. My name is David from Michigan, the state in God's hands, and this video is called The Modernday Sodom and Gomorrah. When the President of the United States in 2015 made gay marriage legal, made our nation a modern-day Sodom and Gomorrah, among many other modern-day Sodom and Gomorrahs, particularly over in Europe, getting pounded by the floods. There's a lot of nations in Europe legalized gay marriage. But when the most powerful nation made gay marriage legal, solidified Yeshua Jesus Christ returns soon. I mean, that's the thing that, basically Jesus said, I'm coming back soon now. He have so much grace and mercy. But, I will display later on in this video the three things that what basically makes Jesus angry at the nation, in particular its leaders. The political leaders, the political parties, the religious leaders, the pastors, bishops, these type of things. So historically, God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah because of the normalization and acceptance of homosexuality. I mean, it was so thick during those times. The angels came down to save, I think it was Lot from Sodom and Gomorrah. And you know, they were so thirsty, they wanted to have sex with the angels. I mean, could you imagine I'm just gonna say creation come down, you probably never seen before, you just so thirsty, you just want to have sex with it. And you know, like during the days of Noah, they was giving into marriage. You know what I'm saying? Number two, the rise of the idol worshiping. Many Christians are mixing idol worship secretly with Christianity. That's a no-no. But when you combine all the different type of idol worship religions together, it's on the rise, most definitely. Number three is basically ignoring poor people. I mean, I would display some example set in this video later on. But basically, these are the same reasons God caused the floods in the days of Noah and the fall of Jerusalem and Judea and the situations with the children of Israel. So what to do? So what do you think God will do to the United States? You know what I'm saying? I mean, these Christians supporting gay marriage, facilitating it, you know, with the Democrats, you know, why would y'all ignore what God did to these other nations? Probably really don't care because, you know, the pastor probably don't even teach the real basics that's supposed to be taught in the Bible. It's basically on material things. You know, they mention material things more than preparing for the rapture. You know, I'm just asking the question, how could any pastor prefer voting or supporting Democrats, knowing they support gay marriage, secret idol worship, and procrastination, making minimum wage a living wage? I mean, the average Christian, in my opinion, don't care about how evil politicians do evil. It seems like whoever is the most popular on cable TV is usually the winner. And actually, they need to trade that TV time for prayer time. Since Barack made gay marriage legal, our nation has been taking a pounding. But I'm going to start with the super blood moons of 2015. I think it was a total of 4 blood moons. Go to Joel chapter 2, verse 30 and 31, King James Version only. And I will show you wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. Look up in the book Isaiah, the Lord of Hosts. Check out the Lord of Hosts. In 2017, it was more than 70,000 opioid deaths nationwide in the United States. In the beginning of 2020, the coronavirus slammed our nation unexpectedly. We haven't seen anything like that. Well, we haven't seen anything like that in our lifetime, but nothing like that hasn't happened to this nation since the bird flu in 1918. And the panel on the Modernday channel predicted that, you know, before it happened. According to the articles, the bird flu claimed 675,000 lives and 50 million worldwide. And let's not forget the economic impact from the coronavirus. The world economy has been on a standstill for a year and a half. Also, other things contributed to the coronavirus economy. The microchip shortages basically affected laptop companies, automotive companies, basically the whole electronic and the appliance industries. Here are the scriptures that display God's displeasure of how nations should be governed. Europe is littered with nations that has legalized gay marriage, and these nations are also doomed. Currently, the floods has devastated their economy. Jesus Christ, the Lord of hosts, is allowing these nations to be destroyed. Jesus Christ is the best protector any of us could have, but he loves judgment. Go to Isaiah chapter 1, verse 17, King James Version only. Learn to do well, seek judgment, relieve the oppressed, judge the fatherless, plead for the widows. Majority of Christian politicians in the United States, who I believe is the largest group at any level of government, continue to give private companies free money. Millions of free dollars go to farmers, colleges, manufacturers, unproductive studies, and much more. I mean, since the nation started giving out foreign aid tax-free, it's probably been trillions of dollars. So it's not that this country don't have enough money to liberate, I guess, the poor people, or just basically help them to be self-efficient in our economy. While majority of Christian politicians have been making excuses about raising minimum wage to a middle class wage. I mean, since minimum wage has been in existence, Christian politicians can make exceptions for some businesses like they do for casinos. All businesses in Michigan except casinos has prohibited, cigarette smoke. So there is no excuse to make minimum wage a middle class wage. Also, majority of Christian politicians are quiet about foreign nations getting tax-free money for decades. The total is probably beyond trillions of dollars. Read the entire chapter of Genesis 19. God sent angels to save Lot's family because he was about to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. The young and old men were so thirsty to have homosexual sex that they surrounded Lot's house to have sex with angels. After Lot left, God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So what do you think God would do to the United States? Making gay marriage legal. Mocking God's marital standards. Since the explosion of college fraternities since the late 1800s to like the middle of the 1900s, idol worship or Baal worship has been on the rise in the United States. Baal worship is people praying and bowing down to man-made things. Also bowing to the sun, moon, or stars. Many college fraternities and sororities are fronts for religious purposes, masked as a social club. Other forms of Baal worship are the Vatican Catholics who sponsor, but probably majority of the Baal worship, but they do it in secret. That's why they always talking about it's a secret. They can't tell nothing. And a lot of these Christians are participating in these things. Go to Isaiah chapter 46, verse 6 through 7, King James Version only. They lavish gold out of the bag and Welsh silver in the balance, and hire a goldsmith, and he make it a god. They fall down, yea, they worship. They bear him upon the shoulder. They carry him and set him in his place, and he standeth from his place. Shall he not remove? Yea, one shall cry unto him, yet can he not answer, nor save him out of his trouble. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 3. Y'all gotta excuse me. I'm having a little sinus issue right now. I usually don't even have no sinus issue. Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 3, King James Version. And hath gone and served other gods and worshipped them, either the sun or moon or any of the hosts of heaven, which I have not commanded. The Catholic members is the sponsor of high-ranking college fraternities and sorority members performing black and white magic combined with ball worship. Also, the Catholics members have authority over prince members and other fraternal orders. Since the Vatican was controlled by Romans, the Catholic religious institution has always been known to do idol worship to man-made things. Constantine did not want to add Jesus Christ to anything the Catholics worship, but he was forced to by the people. Also, Martin Luther broke away from the Catholics because of idolatry worship. High-ranking members of these institutions allegedly bow to the Baphomet statue that has a crescent moon and a star on it, and the moon means witchcraft. They bow down to the Baphomet statue and pray to the moon demon, Allah. The Baphomet statue have the same crescent moon and star on it that the Muslims bow down to. So in the United States, Catholics, Muslims, some college fraternities, sororities, prince members, and Satanists who also bow down to the Baphomet statue with the crescent moon and star on it as other groups. When Buddhism and Hinduism is included and growing, idol worship is actually a big group that is labeled many individual groups. And what made things worse is that Christians in the United States are in idol worship. It may not be in the lower ranks, but definitely in the higher ranks of those institutions. The Babylonians that created Christmas, Easter, Halloween, and St. Valentine's Day represent position of stars in the sky. Google Christians and star positions in the sky. No, Google Christmas and star positions in the sky, and it will bring up the Christmas star and all that stuff. I'm gonna make a video about how Christians worship Lucifer or the devil later on, and it's gonna talk about how a lot of the traditions of men that Christians do in their worship, annually and maybe weekly. But Jesus Christ wants Christians to quit these organizations and institutions and confess and repent being members of these satanic groups. Many spirits in hell wish they had one more chance to repent and turn to Jesus Christ. You should take advantage of that now. And the straight and narrow way is to forgive everybody. Do not have no bitterness or unforgiveness towards anybody. Jesus Christ is a jealous God. You can't worship two masters. It is not good to celebrate Easter, Christmas, Halloween, St. Valentine's Day, and even birthdays. Birthdays represent being born in sin. If you're going to celebrate anything, and I still wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but it probably would be a whole lot better in the eyesight of Jesus, is to celebrate the day you was born again, not the day you was born in sin. But those holidays represents position of stars in the sky. There is a such thing as a Christmas star. It may not have been called Christmas during the Babylonian days, but that's like the origin where it come from. That's how basically Constantine and the Catholic Church added mixed Babylonian worship with Christianity, because actually the husband was the pastor and the master of the household. Google the definition, the etymology definition of the etymology definition of husband. It's master of household. But when the Catholics create the Bible, they like commercialize Christianity, and a lot of the husbands gave their authority up to a pastor. Which is not necessarily bad, but it's only so many good pastors. But the pagan Babylonians started satanic holidays. It is hypocritical to call Christmas Resurrection Day and have a Christmas tree at home. Go to Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 3 and 4. King James Version only. And that's the thing. They try to just basically put icing over the cake instead of getting rid of the whole cake, and eat healthier foods, fruits, vegetables. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 3 and 4, King James Version. For the customs of the people are vain, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They decked it with silver and gold. They fastened it with nails and hammers, that it move not. Now think deep with me, people. I already told you how Baal worship bow down to the crescent moon and star. People usually put a star on the top of a Christmas tree and need to bow down to get gifts. Pastors, please tell members to throw away their Christmas trees, because God called it traditions of men. And they're like, it's more than one scriptures about basically Christmas trees in the Bible, about how they decorated it for satanic work, worshiping Satan, the Babylonians during that time. That's where it came from. So idol worship is definitely on the rise in the United States. And in my opinion, the rapture will happen before April of 2030. That don't mean it's going to happen in 2030 or 2029. I'm just saying, in my opinion, it will happen before April 2030. And it's this video I want y'all to check out about the rapture. In the YouTube search bar, type 2030 and the rapture. And I think that's on the Peniel Nagande channel, or it may be on his other channel called The Watchman Vision. But yeah, type in 2030 and the rapture. Scroll down to the Peniel Nagande channel or the Watchman Vision channel and watch that video. Awesome. Also subscribe to his channel. Peniel Nagande channel is awesome. Peniel Nagande is a real nice person. Professional. Really get subscribe to his channel, cause definitely I'm a follower of that channel. And remember, Jesus Christ is a jealous God and wants you to have one master. So if you're in these fraternities or sororities or fraternal orders, come out of those and prepare for the rapture. And follow, mentors that give out the sound of the trumpet. You know what I'm saying? The end time teachings, preparing for the rapture. Those type of things. Also, go to Peniel Nagande YouTube channel, scroll down to the videos about a year from his current videos, and look at the video called Getting Prayers Answered. That video teach about how to start prayers answered speedily during the midnight hours. and praying loud like a baby crying is very powerful. Yeah, when you pray, basically almost at the top of your voice or at the top of your voice, that those prayers go straight through the second and third heaven into the heaven where God is at. And you learn more about your prayer and how it operates the spirit world. And that's what's good. If you understand how your prayers operate in the spirit realm, it gives you more confidence in your prayers and more confidence in Jesus Christ. And when you pray, don't stop praying about it until you get it. Keep praying, because sometimes the accusers are not on their post. Have a blessed day and prepare for the rapture. This is Dave from Michigan, the state, in God's hands. Have a blessed day.